Hello everyone, I am Dr. Vishal Bende, consultant pediatric cardiac surgeon. In this video, I would like to share truncus arteriosus type 1 repair with a handmade PTFE valve conduit along with logistics of the PTFE conduit in Indian scenario on a 9 months female baby weighing 5 kgs. 2D echocardiography showed truncus arteriosus type 1 Collett and Edwards classification and A1 as per Van Praag's classification. The main pulmonary artery is arising from the common trunk immediately after the common truncal valve. The main pulmonary artery and the branch pulmonary arteries are good size. There is a large subtruncal ventricular septal defect, shunting bidirectional. There are no additional ventricular septal defects. The truncal valve is quadricuspid with no stenosis but mild regurgitation with severe pulmonary arterial hypertension. CT angiography showed similar findings. The branch pulmonary arteries were of good size with 10 to 11 mm each. There was a right-sided aortic arch and non-visualization of thymus, which hinted us the possibility for adopting irradiated blood during open heart surgery. With all these above findings, I decided to repair the truncus arteriosus with a handmade PTFE valve conduit. I am describing the materials for preparation of PTFE valve conduit. I used a 14 mm PTFE tube graft which was taken, and tricuspid PTFE valve with 0.1 mm PTFE membrane was prepared a day before surgery. The preference of considering a 14 mm PTFE tube graft is derived as per calculation. Our patient is 5 kgs. As per Kirkling index, pulmonary annulus size required is 7.5 mm and the branch pulmonary arteries is 5.5 mm. Considering the attrition factor involved in conduits, I went for a 14 mm PTFE tube graft. So the 14 mm tube graft is turned inside out. Here I am describing a simple, reproducible technique for preparing PTFE valve conduits. To prepare the valve leaflets, I am using a 0.1 mm Gore-Tex pericardial membrane. The formula which are available to our mind to prepare the leaflet is the height of the leaflet is equal to 0.75 into graft diameter plus 1 to 2 mm. The other formula is diameter of the valve sizer in millimeter is used as height and width of the leaflet. So for our patient, we have used 14 mm Hagar for a 14 mm PTFE tube graft, which will give us 14 mm height and 14 mm width for each leaflet. These are the different formulas available for preparing the leaflet. So one should fashion the leaflet as per these formulas. I am measuring the measurements on the 0.1 mm PTFE patch by marking the points with a marker. Now the PTFE patch is cut. The next step is the cut patch to be folded into 3 equal parts. For descriptive purposes, I am marking the leaflets as 3 parts, 1, 2, 3. Now I am folding these 3 equal parts and it is fashioned in a U shape at both the ends with the help of a curved scissors. Now these rounded off leaflets are wrapped around the 14 millimeter tube graft, and if excess of the portion of the leaflets protrudes outside, it is trimmed off. This wrapped future leaflets around the 14 millimeter tube graft is again mounted on a 14 millimeter Hagar dilator for better grip and suturing. Special care is to be taken that these leaflets lie near one end of the tube graft with a cuff of tissue of the graft from the end. This is essential so that the leaflets are not damaged when we suture it to the pulmonary end side. Now we are commencing with the suturing. Suturing is begun at the first commissure of the leaflets, which is the end of the wrapped leaflets, and this is done by using 7/0 polypropylene sutures. The technique of suturing is that the suturing is begun from the base of the leaflet and proceeded on the free edge of each leaflet. Separate sutures are taken for each commissure and the suturing is done in a continuous fashion. The suture from the other side of the commissure are sutured up to the center of the base of each leaflet and tied at the base. This technique is repeated for all the 3 leaflets. Now the PTFE tube graft with the leaflet sutured is turned back again. As we are preparing a tri-leaflet walled conduit, commissural resuspension sutures are taken with 6/0 polypropylene sutures for proper alignment of the leaflets. As primary commissure suture was created in the beginning of the suturing, we have to create 2 extra commissures for supporting the 3 leaflets. So we can prepare either a tri-leaflet walled conduit or a bi-leaflet walled conduit. For a bi-leaflet walled conduit, only a extra commissure has to be created. But for a tri-leaflet walled conduit, 2 extra commissures have to be created. So this is the second commissural stitch being taken to make it into a tri-leaflet. Care is to be taken so that the commissures are equally placed. Optimizing the pre-operative treatment, including the RT-PCR test for COVID-19, baby is posted for corrective surgery. Median sternotomy is performed, pericardium harvested, fixed with glutaraldehyde. Cardiopulmonary bypass was established after cannulation. Both the branch PAs were snared and delnidocardioplegia delivered. A large subtruncal VSD was closed with glutaraldehyde treated pericardial patch using continuous running of 6-0 polypropylene sutures. After right ventriculotomy and excision of obstructing muscle bundles, a handmade PTFE tri-leaflet tube graft 14 mm was anastomosed distally with the MPA-LPA confluence using 6-0 proline continuous sutures and proximally to the right ventricle augmented with a pericardial patch. Pericardial patch facilitates a better angulation of the right ventricular outflow tract, which if not done can lead to conduit proximal obstruction and RV dysfunction leading to RV failure. The use of valve conduits in pediatric cardiac surgery can be for truncus arteriosus. Barbero-Marcel technique is a valveless option used for truncus arteriosus in type 1 by some surgeons. TOF with long segment pulmonary atresia, TOF with absent pulmonary valve syndrome, double outlet right ventricle, pulmonary stenosis, demalpos great arteries, transposition of the great arteries with pulmonary stenosis, and Fontan procedures, especially the extracardiac Fontan procedures. As described earlier, various formulae are available for conduit preparation. The dictionary meaning of individual terms one should be aware or familiar before proceeding with the discussion is homograft, a tissue graft from a donor of the same species as the recipient; allograft, tissue graft from a donor of the same species as the recipient but not genetically identical; xenograft or heterograft, tissue graft or organ transplant from a donor of a different species from the recipient; and autograft, tissue graft from one point to another of the same individual's body. Our quest for ideal conduit remains. An ideal conduit should have long-term patency, availability in a range of sizes, good handling characteristics, long-term valve function, preservation, good growth potential, low cost, low infectious potential, no need for anticoagulation. This ideal criteria may never be delivered by a single option, so one has to choose various options. PTFE conduits are tried for RVOT reconstruction in infants and young children in many centers including Japan, and this article by Victor Morel Group points to it. PTFE is a biologically inert non-immunogenic material that is relatively inexpensive. The cost of the materials needed for construction of the valve PTFE conduit are 1/10 the cost of a similarly sized pulmonary conduit. Before being used as a valve conduit, PTFE has been used as a prosthetic valve since the early 1990s. Contegra or bovine jugular vein is an alternative available in Indian market at present. Encouraging results in several reported clinical series with follow-up reaching more than 10 years are postulated. Advantages which are attributable are structural continuity, long length availability at inflow and outflow conduit tailoring. All sizes between 12 to 22 mm in diameter are available. Of late, disturbing sequence of publications reported stenosis at the level of distal anastomosis of the conduit, with proximal conduit dilatation, aneurysm or pseudoaneurysm in between 6 and 50% of the patients. Gore-Tex pericardial membrane 0.1 mm is used for the leaflets preparation and marketed by W.L. Gore and Associates. The leaflets can be prepared by using the necessary formulae in a given case. Conduit survival is another aspect one should understand and is defined as the time to first conduit change. Durability of conduit function is affected by these major factors: conduit size or body weight mismatch due to non-growing nature of these conduits, loss of conduit diameter due to pseudo-intima formation, anastomotic stricture or calcific degeneration of the conduit valve, age at conduit insertion, heterotopic position to avoid sternal compression. PTFE conduits perform on par with Contegra as per the study. 88% freedom from conduit explantation at 10 years. Freedom from conduit reoperation at 5 years is 92%, whereas Contegra freedom from conduit reoperation at 5 years is 76.8%. So considering the Indian scenario and the longevity of the conduit vis-a-vis conduit attrition and cost effectiveness, PTFE is a better bet as most of our patients are government scheme sponsored. Our patient discharged successfully with good biventricular function and unobstructed flow in the conduit with trivial PR.